Bill Cosby will finally be charged with sexual assault. Now, in case you've been living in a cave for the past year or two, or maybe your whole life, because these aren't new charges, a lot of people are saying that somehow there's a conspiracy against Bill Cosby to sully his name because he was trying to buy NBC, because he was trying to tell black folks how to live and to pull their pants up. Now, look, I agree with the whole pulling the pants up thing. I agree with all of what he said about black America needing to get better, because I say a lot of the same things, and I'm obviously black. But that doesn't mean that he can't also be a rapist. You know, Bill Cosby is America's dad, was America's dad, has a lot of good things to say about how to improve the black community, but he's also a rapist. The situation here is about one Miss Andrea Constand. If you don't remember her, or if you don't know who this person is, I'll put a picture right here so you can have it for reference. But there was a case about 12 years ago where he actually was accused of raping her at Temple University. She was an employee there, and it was alleged that he gave her some wine and pills, which is his MO, and he sexually assaulted her. Now, the Montgomery County, which is where the case was to be tried, said that there was not enough evidence to charge Mr. Cosby in that case 12 years ago. So they settled out of court for an undisclosed figure, which I'm sure was in the millions. Now, the charges have been brought back up over the summer because of the 50 plus women who have now said that they have been sexually assaulted by Bill Cosby. And I think it may have been spurred by the New York Magazine article, which is in front of you, where you had 35 of the 50 women appear on the cover of the magazine to talk about their experience with Bill Cosby. The women that have been accusing him come from all different walks of life. And it spans over, I say maybe 50 years, from the 1960s on up until I think the latest one was in 2008. And those are just the ones that have come forward. And I think the total now is 51 women. And they all have a similar story, even though they may come from different backgrounds. Many of them were in his heyday when he was out, you know, doing the Cosby Show. And before that, he was just a comedian. Many of these women were just trying to get on. You know, they were models, they were dancers, they were actresses. And Bill Cosby kind of groomed them in a soft way until he drugged them and raped them. Every woman pretty much has the same story. It's pills and alcohol. He even admitted a few years back that he obtained Quaaludes to give to women. Now, he didn't say he raped women. He said that it was consensual. Well, first of all, Mr. Cosby, you're married, and you've been married the entire time since I think the 1960s to one Camille Cosby. So you're talking about getting Quaaludes to give to women. What other reason do you need the pills than to rape women? Do you need to give women pills to have sex with them? You're obtaining the pills to violate women. You even have shown how you do it on your TV show. I may put a link in the description box below, but I've seen an episode of The Cosby Show where he actually would talk about, well, he actually demonstrated how he would slip a pill into a drink. Like he showed you exactly what he was doing. He got on a late night talk show. I'm not quite sure who the person he was talking to was. And if you know, let me know in the comments below. But on the show, he talked about this thing called Spanish fly. And Spanish fly is some type of aphrodisiac or a mixture. I'm using air quotes here. A mixture of things in the drink that you give to a woman, and then she just opens up and everything is all good. That, it comes from his mouth on TV, not in a Cosby show, not on a comedy stage, but on a late night talk show or just a regular interview. See, Bill Cosby is a monster. Kenan Thompson from Saturday Night Live talked about how Bill Cosby was weird and creepy with his own mother when he brought her to meet people around and also meet Bill Cosby. There have been countless people that have come out against Bill Cosby. But the reason why he hasn't been convicted or tried or anything has come of it because he has so much protection in Hollywood. There have been interviews with Bill Cosby live where people have pressed him about the rape allegations. There was one story where it was a complete interview done and the person who was interviewing him pressed him hard about the rape allegations. I think it might have been a radio interview. And the person who did the interview said that within minutes, he was getting calls from very powerful high up people to remove or to not produce the video, to not let it get out. And it never got out because you got high, powerful people that protect Bill Cosby. And in the black community, I got to speak on this because obviously I'm black. You hear my voice. In the black community, you got 70% of black children living in households without a father, right? And that figure hasn't really changed much since, I say, the 80s. So you got a lot of kids growing up, black kids growing up with no father figure, no male adult figure in their life. So the Cosby Show to us, it was like the epitome of what being a black family could be. You got your mother, you got your father, you got your siblings. Everybody's living in peace. There's no crime going on. There's no drug use going on. And a lot of us grew up in households where you had no father. Your mother was barely there. You got some molesting uncle. You got somebody's on drugs. You got a poor, dangerous environment you live in. So we look at the Cosby Show as the epitome level of what being black could be. And we look at one Mr. Bill Cosby as the prototypical father and our substitute father, right? But here's the thing. William Cosby is not Heathcliff Huxtable. Mr. Huxtable is a character on TV on the Cosby Show. There's a difference between the man you see on a TV screen, the character that is being portrayed, and the actual man named Bill Cosby. The actual man named Bill Cosby is a far cry from Heathcliff Huxtable. Heathcliff Huxtable was a family man, hardworking, kind, dedicated, somebody that you could really look up to as a pillar of your community. But Mr. I'm not going to say Dr. Bill Cosby. Mr. Bill Cosby is not. Mr. Bill Cosby is a hypocrite. He came to Eddie Murphy talking about don't use dirty jokes in your set. Meanwhile, he's raping women, a serial rapist, 50 women. And if there's 50 women that have accused him publicly, imagine the amount of women who have not come forward, right? And these women come from all different walks of life. I mean, you got Beverly Johnson, someone who has nothing to gain at all from coming out against Bill Cosby. Nothing to gain at all. She has actually more to lose because she is successful in her own right. So there is no need for her to come out against Mr. Bill Cosby to help her gain anything in life. She came out against Bill Cosby because she wanted to support the other women and not have them be in a situation where they are alone. And I can respect that 100%. Now, I suspect there's other women that have not come out that probably will have a much more damaging effect on a situation if they did. Do you remember, if you watched the Cosby Show, do you remember the drama that went on with Lisa Bonet? I'll put a picture up right here where you see them as they were on the Cosby Show. And you see on the far right hand side, the young lady with the light skin and the afro, that is Lisa Bonet. Okay. There was a big feud with the two of them, Lisa Bonet and Bill Cosby. You know, I think she got kicked off the show. She was coming back and forth. It was a very weird dynamic between the two of them. I never could figure out why they had beef. Because when I watched the show, she seemed like a nice girl. And if anything, a young girl like that with an older gentleman who had a head on his shoulders, they could work it out. But it seemed like he was being aggressive to her for no real reason. But I think there's more to the story. And now that you're coming out to see that he's a serial rapist, maybe something happened with her. Maybe one of her friends that she brought to the set Bill Cosby did something to her, and then they talked about it, and then maybe Lisa Bonet wanted to come out and confront him on set. Who knows? But there was always a strange dynamic there, and I would like to see if something actually was there. My final verdict on this, I'm glad that something is actually happening. Unfortunately, Bill Cosby is 78 years old. He'll probably actually be dead pretty soon. He doesn't look like he's in good health. If he goes through the trial and gets locked up, he probably won't actually live too much longer when he's locked up. But for all the women that are out there listening, if you had a problem with Bill Cosby, if Bill Cosby assaulted you, then I'm with you. I'm in your corner. Because Bill Cosby, people like this can't just use their power to abuse women. They need to be held accountable. That's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace.